everyone. Welcome to the Your Life Unfiltered podcast. In this podcast, we dig deep into the life experiences of our guests to connect the dots between their early experiences and what they're doing today. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Viral Kothari. You guys may recognize him from season 2 of Indian Matchmaking. Viral, would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Hey, Ketu, my long-lost brother, Marabai. Thanks so much, Debunks. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I was on Indian Matchmaking, and I'm Indian. That's and I'm in New York now, and I don't know. I'm in finance. I don't know what else to say. We'll let the secrets come out during the interview.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Viral, thanks for joining today. So before we talk about the show, before we talk about anything else, why don't we go back a few years? So tap into the early childhood, early upbringing. Tell us a little bit more about how was your experience growing up in US? What are some of the early inspirations or motivations that stuck with you? You eventually took finance. So were there any key drivers that led you to take finance? Were you like always a math guy? Things like that. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay, yeah. So I was actually born in Chicago, Evanston, Illinois. That's when my parents came over from India after they got married in the late 70s. And then instantly when I was a year old, I told my parents, yo, let's move to New York. I want to be a New York finance bro. That's when I knew I want to be a finance bro.
Oh my God.
No, but my dad moved when I was a year old. And then I grew up in Manhattan on the Upper East Side, but in the 80s it was hood. Like, it was crazy. Like, my dad had a liquor store in the corner, and he got shot at a couple times, but thankfully not shot up. That's 96 in Lexington. And that was hood then. But now it's like nice, you know. But anyway, after that, we moved to the hood in Jersey, like the projects. And then I was there until fourth grade, so I think I was 10 years old. Then we moved to Nutley, New Jersey, which was it was seriously like 98% Italian. And then I went to fourth grade to high school there. Then after graduating high school, I went to Penn State with the thickest Guido accent you ever heard. And everyone at Penn State was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, Indian Guido accent. And literally that is the year the Jersey Shore came out, or Jersey Shore, those guys are like my age. Yeah. I don't remember when it came out. Might have been 6 years later, but whatever. I lost the accent. When I came home, my friends are like, yo, you talk like such a fairy now. I lost the accent, like, in one semester I lost it. I just got ripped so much. I wasn't trying to lose it. I wish I could get it back. So anyway, but at Penn State, I was a math guy, but I really had I just figured I'd get rich somehow, but then I quickly realized it's not that easy, and then started caring more about my studies, and finance just drove me. I've been in it since, and then went to grad school for that, and after grad school I moved out to Cali and lived in Newport Beach for 6 years, and then LA for 3 years. And I've been back in New York since 2019, right before COVID, like December 2019.
Wow. So it's like right when you came back to New York, when you were like excited to enjoy life in New York as the pandemic hit. That's got to have been a little bit of a joy killer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the worst part was I was supposed to start my job in the city in March 2020, so I was going to, look for apartments. So I was going to start looking in March 2020, and COVID hits, and I was at my parents' house. And my fucking parents are out of their minds. So, like, that 7-8 months that I lived with them was absurd. But I love them. I'm not knocking them, but they're crazy. You can love crazy.
Yeah. No, I remember that. I have, so I think this Feb of 2020, so I was actually visiting a couple of my friends, and they were also in the process of moving to the city, and I helped them move actually, right before the pandemic. And, I followed up 1 month later, and they were shitting their pants because New York was going crazy during the COVID time, especially those March and April time period.
Yeah. No, it was nuts. Yeah. Thank God it's over.
Yeah, 100%.
Mostly over, but yeah.
So,
Yep.
Viral, I wanted to ask you a question about the finance industry, right? So you said you've been working on finance since your school days, right? What area of finance? Is it equities? Are you talking investment banking, debts, swaps? Like what
Well,
area?
right now I'm in investments, but I've been working on my own pretty much since I moved back from LA. So I just invest for myself and my parents, and we're not wealthy, as you can see by my apartment. But yeah, one day we might be. Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
Portfolio.
I invest in everything. I mean, to answer that, I invest in equities and derivatives mainly, but also some weird fixed income and whatnot, whatever comes up. However I can make money. If you got any tips, I'm always ears.
Real estate.
Real estate, yeah. My dad actually does some real estate, but yeah, it's always good. Indians love the real estate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of
Especially
the
those
tax
Patels loving
benefits.
the hotels. The Patels.
Yeah.
Especially the Gujarati community, I think that really
Yeah.
loves the
We like
real
that
estate.
cash money. Yeah. The paisa bhoj hoy છે. Yeah.
Yeah, we love to
right.
accumulate it, not necessarily spend it that much,
Oh,
but we
yeah.
love
We
to
don't like to
accumulate it.
spend it. Don't take my money. Yeah. My parents taught me that.
It's in the blood. No, I'm with you. I'm a Marwadi, so I'm the same.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm with you guys. So on that one,
Yeah. Indian basically knows how to hold on to the money.
right.
Yeah.
So, so tell us a little bit more about Viral. How was your experience living in Southern California as you kind of moved from the East Coast, that where you lived most of your life? Were there any key differences that you observed, and how was that?
It was actually, so when I went to grad school, I went to grad school in Notre Dame in bumblefuck Indiana, and I love New York. I always loved New York, and I just wanted to come back to New York and work on Wall Street. I worked on Wall Street before grad school, but I wanted, a higher position, promotion, whatnot. But something came up in Cali, and I went to work for PIMCO, and it was the weather's just fucking unbelievable. Like in my interview at PIMCO, I was like, okay, it's May now. How's the weather in the winter? They're like exactly like this. I was like, oh, what about February? They're like exactly like this. Then I got the job. I went to see apartments in like September, and I was like, where's the AC? And then the real estate agent opens up my balcony door and points to the ocean. And I was like, oh. And I told my parents, like, oh, I'll be back in like a year or two. But once I was there for a year or two, I never had to wear like a winter jacket or even a jacket. I never had to look at the weather even. After a couple of years, I was like, shit, I'm never leaving this place. And the thing is that when I was in Newport Beach, like I love like being in different places, meeting different people. But then it got to the point where the people are not as interesting as the ones you might meet like on the West Coast. I mean, I won't speak for San Fran where you are, but they're not as interesting. People on the West Coast aren't as interesting as the ones on the East Coast. And I'm not saying that in general. I had a bunch of friends, but I had a lot of friends that lived there.
Yeah.
I remember one thing I said is like, yo, when I go out in New York, I'll meet random dudes and just make friends with dudes and we'll be buddies. And then they'll end up being some of my best friends for years. And then in California, though, that just didn't happen. It did not happen at all. And then when I would come back to New York, it would just happen. And it was like, it's more of a cliquey mindset. And so, I don't know, I guess it took me finally like 5 or 6 years to get sick of Newport Beach. And I didn't get sick of the weather. I'm still a pussy as far as weather goes. But then I just got a call from somebody I interviewed with in Beverly Hills. And they were like, my boss, like, we remember interviewing you. We weren't lying. My boss remembers you from 2 years before. And he wants you to come interview for this portfolio manager job. And I was like, no, I booked a one-way ticket back to New York. like, I'm not coming. And
Mhm.
he's like, are you sure? And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to make that drive. And he's like, all right, my boss will come down. He'll come down and have lunch with you in Irvine. And that's how it started. Then I ended up moving to L.A., Beverly Hills, the 90211, the cheap
Nice.
area of Beverly Hills. Trust me. I'm very modest. I'm very modest about that.
Wow.
So I did it 2 or 3 years there. But then, honestly, it was the same thing. Like, the people that you work with, like, it's just a different mentality there. And I was like, it's time to come back to New York and bring COVID to the world. And that was a terrible, like, coincidence. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think I just say one thing here to your point, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. San Fran is even worse than LA.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Deepam, oh my God, Deepam's like an
Dude,
SF advocate.
lock your doors. Like,
Yeah.
people are come after you now.
Yeah, Deepam's like
Yeah,
an
I'm gonna get a
SF
lot of
advocate. And he's gunning on SF right now.
Damn, yeah.
In this particular aspect, yeah. I mean, but everything else is pretty good. Like weather is pretty good here as well. There's a lot of diversity and all of that. So, but people is. I mean, I have good friends. Don't get me wrong, but I agree with your point. Like
Yeah. No, thanks. You're making me look like less of a dick. So, no, but this is a fact. Like, not
Yeah.
everywhere you go is going to have so many great people. You're always going to find decent people no matter where you go. And that's what matters.
right.
But,
100%.
certain areas just, I don't know, for some reason, maybe have people that relate more to people like you and myself.
Yeah, that's definitely
Oh.
one of the things. Actually, Ketul and I have a theory, and maybe we can test it on you to see if you agree with this or not. So, I think your people are more friendly in New York. Like you can find more people, you can find more communities in the East Coast because you tend to spend a lot of time inside the institutions inside, let's say, whatever activity you're doing, because the weather is terrible outside. But in California, you're outside more. So there's less opportunity to have those community building activities or making
Oh.
friends. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but that's one of the theories.
So you mean people are just right close together?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You spend more
Exactly.
time.
That-
You spend more time
Spend more
together.
time with each other.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if I wouldn't say people are nicer or something, but they're more. The biggest difference for me was like in New York, like if you don't like somebody, you just let them know. You don't have to say, hey, fuck you, you suck. But like you would be like, I don't know. But in LA, like, and even Newport, they'd be, oh hi, blah blah blah, to like people you don't even like. Just
Yeah.
shut up. Don't say anything. That's one thing I complained about. I was in the elevator. And then I talked to my buddy, somebody back from New York, right when I moved. And I was like, dude, I just took the elevator to my apartment. This fucking idiot was like, hey, how are you? How's it going? I'm like, dude, mind your own business. I'm just going to the elevator, going to my place. Fuck, I felt like I needed a sign that said, I'm from New York. Don't chit-chat with me. If you're going to talk to me, then do it for a good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get so much fucking hate from God knows.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I spend some time on the West Coast, so I do echo a lot of what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying, Viral. I echo a lot of what you're saying. I think on the West Coast, you have to be very intentional about building friendships, etc. Like in the East Coast, it happens a lot more organically. On the West Coast, you got to be a lot more intentional because I think you are right. There's a lot of people that are in close knit groups, like almost clickiness types of communities that are out there, right? So it's like to get into a clicky type of environment is pretty difficult. So you got to be very intentional about making friends there. At least that was
Totally.
my experience at the time I was there.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to describe it. And as fellow Jersey boys, we know. We know how it is. Yeah. We tell it straight.
100%. 100%. Were you doing any outdoor activities while you were in Southern California? Did you water sports, anything like that?
Yeah, I actually so I didn't people were like, oh, are you gonna surf? I was like, fuck that. I'm from New York, I don't even care. I didn't do that. Maybe I have a slight I swim like a 3-year-old, so I don't know. I maybe went to the beach like 8 to 10 times in like 7 years, maybe. Not that I didn't like it, but whatever. I started playing tennis though, and to this day
Nice.
I play a lot of tennis. Tennis, basketball, softball leagues, and whatnot. Like I like staying active.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you watch basketball as well, or just play it?
Yeah. I used to be a huge Knicks fan. But I was huge into sports. But after high school, I just discovered, I guess, girls and partying and whatnot. But I still love sports. But I was like a diehard Knicks, Mets, Giants, Rangers fan. But now I watch a lot, a decent amount, I think, but not every single game. Back then, maybe every single game.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, I like basketball as well, but I have like one bone to pick about basketball, and that is New Jersey lost to the basketball team. The only basketball team had the Nets, right? It was New Jersey Nets, and now it's Brooklyn Nets. It's like New York has to take it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, dude, at least we have Jersey has the Jets and the Giants. Even though you want to call them New York, like they're playing.
You're right. They're
Jersey.
physically there. That's true. They're physically there.
New York kind of beats up on Jersey. It's little brother.
Right. All right. So let's talk about the show. So give us the setup. How did you get the show? How did you start getting in touch with people, and how did the experience, the dates go?
Okay, so I had when I moved to LA, Beverly Hills, whatever you want to call it. It's close to Hollywood or whatever. But I always had this guilty pleasure of becoming a famous star, and I love like attention and shit. I love talking. I'm an only child. Like nobody ever listened to me. My parents like, yo, shut up. You're an idiot. Whatever. Typical Indian parents. So I've always had that guilty pleasure. So I was like, oh, how do I become an actor? And I met some people, and they're like, just go on this website, upload your headshots or whatnot. So I did that. Like I had a full-time job. I was working like 60 to 80 hours a week. And, but, at night, or sometimes I'd take a day off if it was real, promising or whatever. So long story short, I got into that. I'm in some things, but not anything anybody cares about. Random people might see it. But the Indian Matchmaking thing was one ad that was expired, and I read it, and it was like 30 to 40-year-old Indian single guys, like, not pieces of shit trying to get married, something like that. And I was like, fuck, like, I'm not a piece of shit. And, like, I'm trying to get married. So that was expired, though. And then I was like, shit, I got to Google this. And I Googled it, and I found an article, and the article said, if you're interested, email this address. I emailed them, hey, I'm interested. I'm this years old, whatever. I think I was like 30. I was 35 or 30. This is actually for season 1. This is in 2018, I think.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
And I was in season 1. So I actually went out, then they emailed me back, and then they found someone for me, a girl who lived in San Diego. Her name is Richa, and then I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't know if I'm going to be on anything else, but I might be. I don't know. But they're not. Whatever. So I went out with Richa, and she's in season 1. She is. Because I told you guys I didn't watch any Indian Matchmaking, but I did watch. She's in. My friend sent me a link. She's in like the last episode of season 1.
Okay.
In a cliffhanger or whatever.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and then the thing is that I'm actually in season 1, episode 1. Like for a quarter second, my friend sent me a picture of myself, and then so that's my claim to fame. I have been in both seasons.
Oh my god! Wow, look at that.
Yeah, but then that episode, I went out with her, and they flew me out to Boston. She lives in San Diego. I live in LA. They flew us both out to Boston, I guess. We went out to some wine bar for a drink. She was cool. Like, they sent me her picture when I was on the way to LAX, on the way to the airport. And it was like, all right, whatever. I wasn't even dying to get the picture. I was like, I'm sure they're not going to totally screw me over. That's what my interpretation was. And they didn't. So, whatever, we had a good time. And then it was her call, second date. And then they did a second date. It was just me and her, the first one. Second date was at her brother-in-law's No. Her sister's house. She's married with a niece, a nephew, her mom, her dad. I think there's a couple fucking dogs in there. Like everyone, and no Sima auntie. And it was just like we're having like nasta pani cha whatever, and literally we are. And then I was like, auntie, do you have any drinks, please? And then the whole time I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I need a drink or something. But I asked production then. I was like, can I have a drink? They're like, no, dude. Like you had your drinks yesterday, and I was like, I didn't even have liquor or anything. I'm not an alcoholic, but meeting parents that that was hilarious. Like all of us were laughing. We had a great time, and then I think they didn't air it. This is my guess because she started dating someone from Instagram. We didn't really talk afterwards, like many girls do after meeting me, not talk much to me. I think she started dating someone that's not Indian, and I think because that like the conversation, everything that we had with the family and everything, it was really good, like really good camera material and like nice between us and all, like it was good. So I guess that's why I didn't air it. But then anyway, long story short, longer story, a little less longer. So fast forward a year, I think it was like 2020, September. No, 2021. Fast forward 2 years, maybe? I don't know. I'm totally losing track of whenever season 1 was, we filmed that 6 months before. I don't know.
I see. Wow.
Yeah. And then whenever season 2 was, season 2 was last year?
Yeah, season 2 is 2022.
Okay, yeah. So September 2021, the producers call me, or no, during the summer they called me and they're like, yeah, like we're interested in having you again. And I was like, okay, cool, like whatever, call me. And then that was during summer 2021. And then September 2022, I'm flying to LA just to hang out or something. And I'm going to Jersey. My parents live in Jersey, respect. And then one of the producers calls me and they're like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, oh, it's great. I'm going to LA. Like, that'll work out. And for some reason, I think, like, the girl's in LA or whatever. They're like, no, the girl's in New York. And they're like, we'll pay for your flight back or whatever. And then anyway, it was COVID. It was COVID time, September 2021, so I could cancel my flight. I ended up canceling my flight anyway. I had some stuff in New York that I was going to miss that I wanted to do. And then they don't even tell me where she lives. And then one day, that was a Thursday night. Then Friday, Saturday, I took a COVID test. They don't tell me where it is. They're like, I think somewhere in Jersey. And I was like, oh, are you going to film at my parents' house? Because I was telling them, like, you got to film my parents. Like, they're crazy. They're out of their minds. Like, the shit they say. And then they're like, they're like, I don't know. We're filming in Cedar Grove. And I was like, my parents live in Cedar Grove. I was like, oh, you're filming there. I was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, oh, I didn't know, whatever. And then it turns out that Sunday morning, I go out Saturday night. One of my best friends from Cali flies in Saturday night at like midnight. And then we hang out. And then I had a doubleheader softball game at 9 a.m. And they already told me, be in Jersey at 4 p.m. We went out. I got buzzed, let's just say, for camera's sake. Then I had a doubleheader. And then I had a few drinks there, hard seltzers. And then I can recover quickly. And then I go to Cedar Grove. I get there at 4:30. I'm showered, ready to go. Maybe 3:30. I can't remember the time. But then I was waiting an hour and a half. And they're not calling me. And what turned out happening is they called me. I went there. The girl, Sheetal, they don't tell me anything. I go outside in the driveway. They're like, this isn't Sheetal's house. It's her sister's house with her brother-in-law. Her sister-in-law, her sister and her brother-in-law live here. And they're like, oh, by the way, her parents are here. Oh, and Seema Auntie's here. And then so I meet Seema Auntie outside, and she's like, just one thing. Like, stop making jokes. And then I instantly, I'm like, I don't even have anything to say. I'm like, Seema Auntie, what am I going to say if I'm not making a joke? And then she's like, please don't. And then the reason is like, I think like Sheetal didn't laugh much. She doesn't have a similar sense of humor. And I think she was like trying to help me with that. But anyway, I just fucking made jokes like the whole time. And that was my first date. Wait, this is a long answer. Is this okay though?
Yeah,
No,
sure.
it's totally fine. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that
I'm
was
still
the
hooked.
first date.
Yeah.
We went, Sheetal and I went out, and then I was like, oh, I had one requirement. I didn't see a picture. They didn't send me a picture of her. I saw the picture out in her driveway. I'm like, oh, she's cute. And I looked at the age, and like, I don't even talk to her now. I never talked to her, so I don't even care. And not that I'm trying to be a dick or anything. She was 38 then, and that's the same age as me. And my one requirement was like, for girls that I meet, do not be within 5 years of my age, because like I'm 38. And if a girl is 38, like, you got to be, I want a baby. Like, that is, like, one of my things. I'm an only child. I always wanted a baby brother or sister. Since that time, when I was born as an only child, I've wanted a baby brother or sister, and now I want my own baby. But, so I don't want to rush into it or anyway. So that's the reason that I want a girl that's not in her high 30s or whatever. You got to rush into shit, whatever. I mean, this is like medical facts. I'm not even being a dick. I don't
Oh,
want.
yeah, I completely know that, right? It's what it comes down to, and people are going to hate us for saying this, but fertility drops for women after a certain age. That's
Yeah.
scientific fact.
Yeah, and I recently even had a friend who's a doctor, and it's like the risk of Down syndrome, like it exponentially goes up after you turn 40. It's like goes from 5, and I looked it up, 5%, 10%, 20% by the time you're like 45, 46. So anyway, that's my one requirement that I told him. But then I was like, she's cute, whatever. She lives in New York. I just moved back to New York. Whatever, like maybe we can be friends and whatnot. Who knows? So I met her. She's really cute, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll mess around and then be friends. I'm like, I have a really open mind, and I don't like try to label anything. But we hung out, and she was like, okay, like there's even like if you saw the scene when I was with her parents and her brother-in-law was cool, her sister was cool, like I could tell their laughs were like genuine, like they got it. And like she was just like, she was sitting there and I forgot about it. She didn't have anything to say, and like she kind of, it's like the attention was on me because they were trying to get to know me. They already know her. But she was like,
Right.
like she was getting jealous of that. But anyway, then we went out one-on-one, and that was just more, it was more of the same. I was like trying to be open-minded and like, I'll be friends with anyone, like, as long as you're not a complete, like, jerk off or anything, which she isn't by any means. She's a sweet girl. But then the one thing that got me was that after we left, I was like, I sent her a nice text message, like an Instagram message. They had me ask her that shit on camera. They're like, because the producers, they'll separate us, and they'll be like, do you like her? Do you want her number? Whatever. And I knew this from the first time, the season 1 thing. And I was like, yeah, do you want me to do it on camera? I feel bad because she can't say no or whatever. So then what I did was I asked her on camera. I was like, hey, by the way, like, I didn't want to ask her on camera. I want to give you a chance to say no. So she was like, no, let's hang out, whatever. I sent her a message on Instagram. We're friends on Instagram at the time. This is fucking good. This is juicy. And then she's like, hey, like, it was really great meeting you. I really got friend vibes from you. But, I'd love to do a 15-miler. They put that, like, I run marathons or whatever, like, that. I ran a marathon, and I was training at one point. They think I'm a runner. But she's like, she doesn't like running guys or whatever. I was like, yo, I just ran one for shits, which is the truth. But anyway, she's like, we can do a 15-miler or hang out or whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah, that's actually great. Let's be friends. That's actually great. I'm totally down with being friends. I'll hit you up when something comes up. 2 or 3 weeks goes by. I send her a message. There was like this art show with an open bar, whatever. And I was like, there's like, girls love art. Everybody loves wine. And then I texted her on Instagram, and I was like, hey, are you down to be my wing? The only thing better than a wingman is a wing girl, something like that. I think I've said that to so many girls, just to be clear, like, hey, I'm not trying to date you. Like, we're friends. Like, be my wing. I sent her that, ghosted, no response. Then I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Like, it's not a big deal. Then when season 2 came out, that day, I saw that she added me as a friend on Instagram, which means that she unfriended me. Like, after
Oh, what?
she didn't block me. She unfriended me, and then added me back because I think my guess is people were like, I don't even have a guess. I don't even want to say what my guess is. I'm merely stipulating. But anyway, then she added me back, and then I think I may have dropped her as a friend like a few months ago when I realized that she didn't want to actually be my friend. I think when I forget who's my friends, but then when you see like, oh, who looked at your story or whatever, and I was like, oh, I know this person. So, gotta cut that. So wait, I only went over one date. Should I
Right.
this one right now?
Yeah.
I would love to hear the story of Viral and Viral. And the main reason is because the one line that I think everyone remembers is, so what is Jainism? It's Hinduism on steroids.
Yeah. I was like, the funniest thing is that all the girls I went on dates with, they're all Gujarati. And then to each of them, I was like, I said, oh, what is it? And they're like, And then, and I think each of them were like, I want a Gujarati boy. And then I was like, Chanda the boy. I was like, let's just fuck around or whatever. And they can't, they didn't want to say a word in Gujarati. But like, they're so stringent on having Gujarati guys, like, but then again, like, what? I don't understand what it is. I don't get that. So with Viral, like that, well, I'll start from the beginning because we're going to end up doing that anyway. This thing with Viral was in like January or February of 2022. And I was again in LA. That was like one of my first winters in New York. And I was like, gosh, I can't take this cold. And, I went to LA for like a month, but some producer hit me up while I was there, and they're like, oh, we have a girlfriend. I was like, oh, perfect, I'm in LA. I always think that it's in LA. And then they're like, no, North Carolina. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just got here. I'm trying to stay here I was trying to stay there for a month. And so a week or two later, they find me in North Carolina. The night before, I got to say this, the night before, I didn't have enough time there. My flight, I was staying in Orange County. My flight was out of LAX. I had to meet some friends. We went out, got drinks, not really partied, but got some drinks and was out till like midnight. I always get red-eye flights back east. It's just, I feel like you don't lose any time. So I took the red-eye to like Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. Fucking snowed 2 inches there. Like every road is shut down. I couldn't get an Uber, couldn't get to my hotel. I had to call like the producer, and they were like a production assistant's gonna pick you up. So then, anyway, get to the hotel. They're like, yo, we gotta film right now. It's like, it's 10 a.m. And like, we have to right now. I was like, I'm like disheveled. I went out that night, and I'm on a flight all day. I was like, they wanted to film immediately after I got off the plane. And then,
Oh my God.
I was like, let me like take a shower or something. So anyway, I did that. Then the producer picks me up in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, drives me somewhere, and I was like, what is there, a bar behind this? They're like, no, you're going to the furniture store. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. What did you get? And I was like, what do you mean? They called me if I wanted coffee, and I said I don't drink coffee. So they're like, but you got something. And I was like, yeah, I got chai. And then they're like, okay, so that's your. I was like, does the chai have some clue or something? Like, this is insane. You're sending me to a furniture store. I was like, who am I meeting? They're like, oh yeah, by the way, her name is Viral. And they're like, they told me before I landed, do you want to see a picture? And I was like, just forget it. Don't even show me a picture. It doesn't matter. Like, I trust whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's fine. So when I met her, I only knew her name was Viral. And then I've never met a girl named Viral. But after I thought about it, Viral isn't like it doesn't, I think it can go both ways. So respect for male and female Virals. But anyway, I walked in there and then I was like, what's going on? Like, what are you trying to buy? And she was like, no, nothing. Like, we're just here. And I was like, what are we going to do here? Whatever. And I was like, what is going on? I'm trying to figure out what is the point of being here. And then she's like, you seem nervous. I was like, no, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Like, I don't really get too nervous. At least I don't get too nervous unless her parents and brother and sister-in-law were there. Maybe then. But anyway, then we're talking, and then I'm like, what do you do? I didn't understand any of her answers to any of my questions. Like, none of them were straightforward. Like, what do you do? Like, I still don't remember. Vero, I love it. We've hung out a couple times. I've hung out with her and Ushe.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what's going on. Like, I was trying to, like, make jokes. And, like, there's no opening for any jokes because I didn't even understand what she was saying. And then after, I'll go back to, okay, so I'll go back. Oh, yeah, I'll just go in order. We started talking about something. She was like, what religion are, or you're not Hindu? Like, what are you? And then I was like, I'm Jain. And then I thought most Gujarati Hindus know of Jainism. I mean, my boys over here were all Jain.
They usually at least have heard of it.
Yeah.
So here's a girl that's giving me answers that I don't understand anything, and I feel like an idiot. And then she's like, "What's Jain?" And I'm like, "What?" All right, fair question. And then I want to make a quick analogy. And say, "Oh, are you I want to say, "Are you vegetarian?" She says yes or no, and I go, "Let me give you an example of Jainism compared to Hinduism. Hindus are usually vegetarian, right? But Jains are so vegetarian. We don't eat garlic, onion, potato, like that hardcore is our vegetarianism. We can't even eat some vegetables." And that was a quick analogy that I was going to give. And then I was like, "Are you vegetarian?" Because I figured she wanted Gujarati vegetarian. This is what I was told. Something, I had an idea of that.
Yeah.
And then she's just not answering the question. And I was just looking like, just tell me yes or no so I can give you this analogy. Like, that's the only purpose. That's why I was like, so did you answer the question? At that point, then I'm like, I forgot if I even ended up telling her what Jainism was.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, what's Jainism? And I was like, oh, well, like, Jainism is like Hinduism on steroids. And I wanted to be like, Hindus are vegetarian? Well, Jains are vegetarians on steroids. We don't drink no kanda, lasan, patata, whatever. Like,
I think that was by far the most iconic interaction of the show, right? So I think that made a lot of rounds, given how funny it was. And to your point of you're asking a simple question, and she was just really deflecting those. I think the way she's deflecting the question, that really became an iconic moment.
Oh yeah. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, do you eat something living or moving? She's like, define living or moving. Yeah. And then I was like, at the end, I was like, have you eaten chicken? And then she's like, yes. I was like, you're not vegetarian. She's like, I'm octo-lab. I'm like, I was like, well,
I remember that answer.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah.
I think her answer was I'm semi lacto ovo-vegetarian, something like that.
Oh my god!
It was like some complicated answer.
Yeah. And then she was like, you probably don't know what that means. And I was like, Viral, I don't think anyone within like a 10-mile radius knows what that means. And I don't even remember what she said. Yo, Viral, I love you though. She's a sweetheart. So yeah, that date. Then I don't know. They I don't know. Obviously, nobody was interested in me. That's why I'm not on the show again. So after that date, I was like, the producers were like calling me, one in particular, like, hey, like, you're going to get like a lot of attention because and I knew I was saying some crazy shit, funny shit, whatever, likable, but I knew they'd have taste of it. But they were like, we're definitely going to put you on or whatever. But I never heard from them. They actually told me that after season 2 came out, that, we're trying to put you on season 3. I think between us and the millions of people around the world watching this, I think they hooked me up with any Gujarati girl in America, basically. So I would guess that in season 3 there's going to be no single Gujarati girls in America. If there is, though, we gotta put up a fight and be like, yo, Viral should have been there.
We got to get you tapped for season 4.
Yes. I was like, yo, I said to the producer, I was like, give me my whole fucking season. I'll do this whole thing on my own. Just follow me around. Like, follow me for one fucking night. I'll give you a whole season. But it doesn't work out like that. I thought I'd get a spin-off or something from this, but nobody. Dude, this is my spin-off right here.
Viral times Viral would make an amazing spin-off. Viral times Viral.
Oh yeah. There was like some webpage that came out about Viral and Viral. I thought after I saw that, I was like, oh, well, I'll share the spotlight with Viral, like whatever. But it has not happened.
Ketul, you missed an important observation by Viral, which is this is his first spin-off. And yeah, absolutely, Viral. This is one of many, if I were to put it like that.
Well, with our millions of viewers, like something's bound to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. What a legendary story, for both the dates. And we didn't really know about the season 1, so that's an inside scoop definitely for our listeners over here. So thanks for sharing that. So since the show, how's been the reaction of your friends and people who run into your streets and things like that? Like, have people started recognizing you on the streets? Like, what's that happened afterwards?
Yeah, a week or two after the show, like I didn't know, like I didn't watch the show. I don't really watch reality shows, so I didn't watch season 1, and then season 2 even. I hate looking at myself on camera or pictures, whatever. I mean, I think I'm a total stud, but I just don't like looking. I'm not like insecure. I'm all about me, but whatever. I just don't watch it, and so I didn't know how popular it was, and then. My thought was like, oh, Indians probably watch it, but like so many, honestly, out of the people that recognize me, Indians are probably maybe 50%, maybe.
Wow.
But it's a lot of other people, random places. Some nights, like I'm out with my boys or whatever, and one boy has watched it, and they tell the other ones. In my modesty, I'm not like, yo, go watch me. But one boy tells another one, like, oh, Viral was in this. And then a couple of those nights we went out, and then like every place we went, people like walked up to me. But that was right after the show. Now, like the last couple months, not too many people.
Got it.
Now I'm like, I feel the need to be like, don't you know who I am? No, but if people start talking shit to me, maybe I'll be like, hey, I'm a fucking solid D- celebrity. You better back up.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so that's been what came out of it. I'm still single. Hit me up, ladies. Yeah, it's all good though.
Yeah, so I was actually glancing at your LinkedIn, and it looks like you actually met Warren Buffett. Is there like a story behind that? Like, how did that come to be?
Oh man, Warren used to call me for stock tips back in the day. No, I'm just kidding. Warren has a program with MBA classes around the country. Every year he meets with like 20 MBA classes. and I went to Notre Dame for my MBA. And Notre Dame is the one school he like cycles through 19 schools or maybe 9 schools. Maybe it's 10 schools total. But every year he meets with Notre Dame's MBA class and whoever's in the finance club or some finance investments club. And I was the president of one of those. I don't even remember. This is like 10 or 12 years ago. So anyway, that's how I met Warren Buffett. It was like an MBA class trip or whatever. He was so cool. Like we did like a couple things with him. He's such a dog too. He loves women. He loves them. He might have proposed to like half the class. One of the rules is like every MBA class that comes has to be at least half women. Like if you come, if it was like 10 people can come, 5 have to be women. And like that's just the rule.
Interesting.
Because equality, he claims equality, but I think he just loves women.
Does he do the wallet thing? Because I remember like interviews and stuff that I had read before. He does like things like someone wants to hold like the wallet of like one of the richest people in the world.
Yeah. He did the wallet a bunch. He got down on a knee. He proposed to women. When I went up there, I was like, Warren, will you propose to me? And he was like, dude, that's right. No, I didn't do that. I was like, I think I held out like a bill, and I was like, fight me for this. And I was like, no, I held it out. I was like, Warren, give me an internship, dude. And I only had a 20 on me. I was like, I don't have 100 right now. And then he's like, all right. He's like, oh, like whatever. He laughed, and then he's like, what do you want to do for the picture? I was like, yo, act like you're trying to steal this from me. And that's another picture I have. So back then, I don't even know where the picture is. Like, I don't know. I'm not very good with pictures, so it's somewhere in the cloud.
If you find it, send it to us because we might use it for the YouTube thumbnail picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, I'll try to think about that. Yeah, remind me if I don't come back to be immediately.
For sure. So, going back to the discussion we were having. So, just out of curiosity, what is one or two myths that you would like to bust about the show, being on the inside now?
Oh, like I don't know if other people got it, but with me, they're like it's definitely scripted, like whatever. And I don't even know what parts they're talking about, but absolutely nothing was scripted. They're not telling you. For me, the only thing they said, don't curse. And like, I think it's in the first season, like I kept saying, like, oh, this shit over there, or whatever. But I think it's something I curse more when I'm nervous. That's a myth. There's zero script. And then, another myth is, this is a good one. I don't know. You tell me if you guys have heard this. Like, no one hires Seamonty. Like, no one on the show. You've heard this, right?
Yeah.
No one hired her. It's like, it's more like she's
maybe the production company.
What's that?
Maybe the production company hired.
Yeah, obviously, someone, but no single person hires her. Like, that's not, maybe there's one or two that, so, myth, this is not a myth, but how the show started, I started talking to a producer about something, and then she told me how the show started. There was a documentary with Seema Auntie and one person and how she hooked them up in India. And then this is a spin-off out of that. And I think that person, that might have been a client. Like, so, yeah, so the idea came out to have this show from that. And that was from, this is after, when I was going to say, after the date with Viral, so Raleigh, North Carolina, Durham, whatever it was snowed out. There was nothing to do. And we're in the hotel. And then I ended up having drinks with everyone in production. And then we were just talking shit. And they were like, some people were like, oh, yo, everyone loves you. Like, you're great. They saying to me. And then I was like, oh, cool. Like, it's great. So am I going to be in the show? Because I've already done season 1, and I wasn't even on it. Barely on it. They didn't even tell me that I was on it for a quarter second. And then I was like, are you going to put me on? They're like, don't worry, you're definitely going to be on. And then And then I said to them, I was like, oh man, I felt like so dumb that like Viral was saying all this shit. I had no idea what it meant. And they go, don't worry, no one fucking knew what she was talking about. All right. Yo, Viral, I love you. You're dope. No, we hang out. We're friends, and I think she'll take that well. But she was saying stuff, and I just didn't know, and I was like, wait, tell me more about it. I don't think they put that on camera. Like, I don't think they didn't make me look dumb, but I think they could have. Somebody even told me, oh, the myth is you don't get paid at all. Some people think that I was getting paid, and then I wasn't getting paid, and some people are like, well, why would you do it? I was like, yo, they flew me out to places to meet random girls, and then they paid for everything. Like, why not do it? Who cares? Yeah.
That's the best.
But you're a recurring member of the show. You can be like, this is my third time on, and like people love my performance. You got to give me a cut of the pie.
Well, dude, that's why. Yeah, I've been on 3 times now, but they only put me on 2. And I was like, hey, like, why don't you guys follow me? Like that is true. I mean, we were already talking about it.
Right.
Give you some viewers then. But I think also some of it is like that people want to see what girls go through on the single side rather than guys. I dated some girls, and they're like, "Oh, you're hilarious on that show." I was like, "Yeah." When I'm on it again, like, I'm gonna say I'm single. Like, I'm just gonna go on it. But I am really single. And the girls are like, "Yeah." The girls that I'm dating, like, "Oh, fuck yeah, you're gonna say you're single. Go on it."
Yeah.
That's hilarious. They were like, "Be better." They're like, "No, don't let me hold you back."
That's funny.
Right. That's hilarious. Oh
None
my
of those
God.
relationships have worked out, so I am single. Single as fuck. Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
funny.
Wow.
I find it really funny because a lot of times women will be like very possessive that they don't want you to talk to other women, but it sounds like the women you're dating, they're like, they want you to talk to other women because they want you on TV. It's funny.
I think like they're kind of saying it's entertaining for them, and then also maybe it's like, oh, like I'll become an even bigger deal the more I'm on more TV. Who knows? Like, they're saying it for some reason, but I don't know. I thought it's like from what they've seen. Also, from what they've seen, they know anything I do on TV is going to be no risk of me finding another girl.
Damn. That's funny.
Walk into a gay bar, like go on TV and
That's
just
funny.
meet girls. Like you're not going to date it. None of them are going to date you.
Oh my God.
That's the reason.
That's funny. That's like another way of saying is like they don't trust you have enough game.
Yeah. Like you have no game. Just go right on. Yeah.
Maybe that changes the next season, Real. How about that?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe season 3.
Deepam can be your wingman if you get him other.
Yeah, maybe
100%. 100%.
Bring me a wingman. Yeah. You'll be my wingman.
I'm
I don't know
down.
if season 3 did Viral say that they're done filming, because I don't even talk to the producers.
Yeah, she did. She said they just wrapped up filming. I remember
With
that,
her?
but with that doesn't necessarily mean they might not be doing more edits, right? Because I'm sure like the production happens for like a long time after. Maybe they'll add in additional scenes, so it might be worth reaching out if you're interested. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean they told me if we want to put you on. They told me like this, like right after season 2 came out. They're like, I think they said you're going to be on it. But I think I just haven't heard from them, so I assume just from knowing that they hooked me up with single Gujarati girls in America, that maybe there's probably not a single Gujarati girl here. Definitely not one that can handle me.
Yeah, they might reach out still because, as you know, right, you know this better than anybody else, that the production goes for like years before like at least a few months.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. I mean, I'll be on here to analyze season 3 with you guys, whether I'm on it or not.
I like it.
All right, let's do it. Do it. But you'll have to watch it. I know you don't watch it.
If I'm on this show with millions of viewers, then I will watch the entire season, and we're gonna dissect it.
We'll do it live.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll do it
Forget
live.
about recording. We'll do it live. We'll go on YouTube live and just see how many people chime in.
Oh, yes. That'd be epic.
That's the stuff.
Definitely
That's
down.
the stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, Viral, I want to give you credit on your Instagram handle. Very creative.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you want to share with the listeners here, but if you'd like, you can go ahead and plug that too.
Oh, yeah. Like, all the girls that I went out with, Shito and Viral, damn, they got like 20, 30,000 followers. Nobody's following me. My Instagram's Stocks Gone Viral, a.k.a. Stocks Gone Viral. I guess one problem was that I kept mine private because I was like, I don't give a shit. And I don't really give a shit. But if you want to follow me, I'm Stocks Gone Viral. And I'm public now. And the reason I went public is because this one comedian I follow, Nikki Glazer, she's blonde, she said that if I'll consider going on a date with any guy who has a blue check mark. Just send me a DM if you have a blue check mark. And that's the only reason I'm public now. But Twitter has not rejected me yet. But they're definitely going to reject me. I barely have like 1,000 followers. So follow me so I can get the blue check mark. So ladies, hit me up, follow me. Maybe we'll go out. But in the end, I just need a few thousand of you to follow me so I can get the blue check mark and so I can go out with Nikki Glazer. And then that'll go to shit, and I'll come back to you, babe. I promise. I'll come back to you.
Viral, you might be able to get blue check mark right now, right? Because what it comes down to is you have media coverage. That's the biggest,
Oh, shit.
biggest thing.
You guys are hooking me up. Dude, Jay and brothers stick together. My boys.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Wow. Love that.
Yeah.
But best wishes to you. I'm sure
Thank you.
season 3 is gonna be a good one. Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks so much. And
Now you're ready, Viral. We'll just jump right in.
yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So first is an easy one: tea or coffee?
Tea.
Okay. Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
Okay.
This is why you like SoCal.
Both of the questions you asked me, I'd say either or neither. Yeah.
It's fine.
good.
Whatever comes to mind, the
Okay.
first thing.
Yeah.
Morning person or night owl? I think I
Night.
know this one.
Night.
Okay. Yep. What's your favorite comfort food?
Comfort food? Oh, man. I have too many, but pizza, tacos, burritos, enchiladas,
Okay.
butter paneer, everything. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe
Cool.
pizza out of these, yeah.
Got it. What's your favorite virtue in others?
Honesty. And just seeing how people really feel.
Okay. Interesting. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Speaking of honesty, lying, probably. Somebody doesn't tell me the truth, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What's your secret superpower?
That I can figure out if people are being honest. Yeah. That is,
Is it all gonna be around that? Okay.
Yeah, you're the
I'm
human
not
lie
trying to do
detector.
it. No, but I think my secret superpower is I'm a good judge of character. So
Nice.
that goes with that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. What's a secret power you wish you had? And this can be unrealistic.
It can be unrealistic. Oh, okay. Man, I don't know. Just for fun, I'd like to be able to fly, so I could get around really quickly. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Good one.
Yeah, I don't like having commute, so that's
Well,
I'll go with that.
Also, you can fly to the West Coast whenever it's winter months. And
Exactly, yeah. Trying to get the fuck out of the East Coast during the winter.
And also avoid the traffic in LA.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's brutal. Yeah. LA traffic is the worst.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So I guess this is not a rapid fire, but what's next for you, Viral?
Yeah, I'm just hunkering down with what I'm doing right now, which is investing, trying to build my assets. And I hope in like 2 or 3 years to be able to pretty much work like 10 or 20 hours a week instead of right now, which honestly isn't that much. I probably barely work 40, 50 hours, but I feel like I work a lot smarter now. So what's next for me is that, and I want a baby really bad. But if I really wanted a baby that bad, I would have found a wife by now. So I'm still picky, and I hope to meet a girl that provides me with the baby, with the strict ass prenup. But she gets the Bentleys, I get the babies. That's my prenup.
Very interesting. All right. Okay, I guess that brings us to the end of our discussion. Ketul, maybe we can do the closing remarks.
Yeah, sure. So we like to end every podcast episode with asking for a recommendation from our guests. So the recommendation can be a whole host of things. It can be a book, a podcast, a movie, anything that comes to mind. So do you have any recommendation for our listeners here?
Oh, yeah. For you guys or the audience, a lot of the things we spoke about in that rapid fire or something, this book, it's called The Fountainhead. It's kind of a cliche recommendation. A lot of people have heard of it, but if you haven't, it's a giant book, and I fall asleep reading, but I started listening to audiobooks. Oh, I guess the recommendation is there's an app called Libby. Second recommendation, read The Fountainhead. It's this story about, just Google it, just Wikipedia it. It's very deep, and it's entertaining. And if you can't read like a 1,000-page book, try audiobooks, and Libby is an app. Man, Libby, they should be giving me money. Libby. It's a free app with a library card. You can get free audiobooks on it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just with the library card. They should be giving me money. Yeah. Next time we're going to have products here. We're going to get fucking swag. We're going to get money.
Sponsorships, exactly.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome, Viral. Thank you so much for joining. It was a pleasure to have you on. If you guys are not already following Your Life Unfiltered on YouTube, please be sure to give us a subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram. That's at Your Life Unfiltered on Instagram. And be sure to give my good friend here, Viral, a follow as well. That's Stocks Gone Viral, at Stocks Gone Viral on Instagram.
Thank you guys so much. It was great meeting you.
All right.
Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Take care, guys. Bye.